Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your chef from guruscooking.com with drumstick sambar. For the sambar preparation, we'll begin by preparing our dry roasted masala, for which I've taken a pan which is at low heat. To this, we'll be adding 2 red chilies, (20) fenugreek seeds or methi dana, a quarter teaspoon of cumin seeds, around half a teaspoon of mustard seeds, 1 inch of cinnamon stick, 1 tablespoon of rice, 1 tablespoon of chana dal, followed by half a tablespoon of whole black pepper. Once you've added all these dry ingredients, you have to roast them and keep stirring them for around 5 to 7 minutes at a very low flame. Once you have roasted them, we'll take them aside and we'll take the same pan to which we'll be adding around 1 tablespoon of oil, and we'll prepare the second stage of your masala. And once the second stage is prepared, we'll be adding this first stage to the second stage. So I've taken 1 tablespoon of oil. To this we are adding a quarter teaspoon of mustard seeds. When the mustard seeds crackle, you'll be adding a quarter teaspoon of cumin seeds. Add 1/8 teaspoon of asafoetida or hing, around 100 grams of ginger and garlic is what you'll be adding now. You can see the ginger is almost the size of little fingers here, and it doesn't matter because we'll be anyway grinding it later on. So make sure you also add 4 green chilies, and we are right now cooking at a medium flame. Make sure you do not cook at a very high flame. You just have to stir fry them and saute them nicely. We'll drop in few fresh curry leaves and saute them along until the raw aromas of the ginger garlic waft through the air. Make sure you don't have to cook the ginger garlic absolutely 100%. Just around 50% would be sufficient. So after around 2 minutes, we'll be adding tomatoes which have been diced. I'm adding 5 tomatoes, and we'll cook them along for another minute or at the maximum 2. Like I repeated earlier, make sure you have to cook all these only 50% because they'll be cooked again along with the sambar later on. Right now what we are preparing is nothing but the second stage of the sambar masala. The first stage of the sambar masala was when you dry roasted those ingredients and kept them aside. We'll add 1 teaspoon of coriander powder here. Make sure the flame has now been lowered, otherwise your masalas will tend to get burnt. We'll add a quarter teaspoon of turmeric powder or haldi, and 1 teaspoon of garam masala. Let's now mix everything up and cook this for another 30 seconds. Now you can put off the flame since your tomatoes and the ginger garlic have half cooked, and you can let this cool down for around 10 minutes. Once it cools down, you'll be adding this to a blender or a mixer, something like this. And once you have added all this mixture, which is of second stage, you'll be taking your first stage of dry roasted ingredients which you roasted early on and mix them up here. Add a little water if required, and this is the fine absolute paste that you would receive. Let's keep it aside. We'll use it later on. I've taken a big thick pot with a thick bottom to which we have added 3 tablespoons of oil and 1/8 teaspoon of asafoetida. Then we dropped in fresh curry leaves and followed by 1 sliced onion. We are right now cooking at a medium flame. Let's cook the onions until they turn translucent. Now, talking about the sambar masala that you just prepared in the mixer, we have kept it aside for later use. We'll add in 1 teaspoon of salt and keep sauteing these onions until they turn translucent. To this we'll be adding 4 drumsticks which have been cut into equal sizes, and we'll stir fry along. After around 2 minutes, you'll be adding 3 diced tomatoes. And now for a few masalas, we'll be adding half a teaspoon of coriander powder. The best way to cook tomatoes is by covering your vessel with the lid and simmering it at a very low flame for around 5 minutes. It's been 5 minutes now, and if I can uncover the lid from your vessel, you can see the oil is oozing out. The tomatoes are pretty tender, and the drumsticks, which were pretty hard in the beginning, have also tendered a little bit. So they seem to be swollen right now, and it's time for us now to add the arar dal or tur dal that we had prepared in a pressure cooker. So I took 2 cups of arar dal or tur dal in a pressure cooker along with 6 cups of water, waited for 3 whistles, and then this is what you received. And this arar dal along with the water that was left over was added to your beautiful, amazingly prepared drumsticks mixture. It is not yet the sambar because it is missing the sambar masala, and that is yet to be added. Before that, let me tell you one thing. The sambar masala that you prepared initially in the mixer is what we have just added right now, and this is what is the main ingredient that offers your recipe the authentic sambar like taste. So instead of buying those artificial sambars, it is always recommended you prepare this homemade, beautiful, amazing, fresh sambar masala. For the consistency, I'm adding 1 liter of water here. Depending on the consistency you like, you may add more or less. So as you can see, this is the level of consistency I've received. I'm going to enjoy this sambar along with some beautiful, amazing, simple ghee rice. Well, you may like it with dosa, with idli, with almost any South Indian dish. Sambar goes well. And my favorites are the drumstick sambar and the radish sambar. I can't survive without these. when it comes to sambar, though sambar is made with many other variations. The best way to cook: increase the flame, cover with the lid, leave it for around at least 7 to 10 minutes, and after 10 minutes, uncover the lid, and the aroma in the air is something that you can vouch for. At least it is something that I can vouch for. It really is amazing, but there are still many things to go in. Let's see what. We'll add in half a cup of tamarind juice. Please make sure you do not add too much tamarind juice because we've already added tomatoes. And to complement the tamarind, we have something sweet here for you. Half an inch of jaggery cube. Now, one thing that you have to understand is tamarind is sour, obviously, but the most important thing about tamarind is it never allows anything to be cooked properly once it is added after tamarind. So that is the reason we always add tamarind in any recipes that I make towards the end and never beginning. So initially I never add tamarind, only towards the end. We'll also add 1 teaspoon of salt because we haven't added salt since a long time. Initially while preparing the onions we added 1 teaspoon and now we added 1 teaspoon. So a total of 2 teaspoons salt in this recipe, ladies and gentlemen. Cover it with a lid, let it simmer for 5 minutes, and after that we'll have something delicious to relish. It's been 5 minutes now, and if I can uncover the pan, look at those amazing colors, the floating boats of the drumsticks which we can ride on are already prepared for us. We'll dress this with some fresh coriander leaves. This is pretty much optional. Most of my South Indian friends, they don't love adding coriander, so this step is optional. I think you just need to wait for 2 more minutes and this tangy and sweet, sour and amazing sambar will be ready for you just after 2 minutes from now. Make sure you simmer at a very low flame. And the sambar, ladies and gentlemen, is prepared. Enjoy it with anything you like. I'm gonna have it with some rice. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed.